I think there's something you should know about me. I just happen to...
Outstanding. Let's go bowling.
Wow! Hey Aussie Gamers and honorary Aussie Gamers from around the world. Welcome to episode 107. Today is the 8th of December 2015 and you're listening to the Aussie Gamers Express podcast. The podcast that is ready to talk Game of the Year. I am your host, Luke One, and joining me this week is my good friend Thorncliffe. How are you, mate?
I'm stressed out.
Oh.
This is ridiculous. You give us this thing right out your top 10 games of the years. I've looked at this friggin' list 30,000 times over the last week, trying to put them in an order. And it's just crazy.
Would it have made it easier for you if I said top 3 intros?
Top 3 intros? I've actually got, like, most of these I have finished.
Okay. We'll get through that.
Top 3 intros? No, because every game I played the intro to, that would just have made it fucked.
Red's cracking shits. Also joining us this week is our other good friend, Red. How are you?
Yeah, spoiler alert, Uncharted 1 Game of the Year.
The one you've just finished. Hey Red, I've had a question that I've wanted to ask you for a long time. How do you like your steaks cooked?
Rare. Give me a second. Yeah, very rare.
Dear, oh dear, we're off to a good start. Anyway, this week's show has been in the making for the entirety of 2015. I've been looking forward to this since the 1st of January 2015. I also made a call early in January as well where I was poo-pooed saying it's way too early to make a Game of the Year call. But anyway, there's been a lot of games, good, bad, indifferent, that have been released this year. And before we get into our personal top 10 lists, we're going to have a listen to what the Game Awards said. So, Sean, I think you've got all the Game Awards there.
Yes, I do. So it was last week on the 3rd of December. They had the second annual The Game Awards. So that was held over in the US. And we ran through a fair few of the nominees and all that kind of stuff last week. So I'll just quickly go through the actual winners. So the best family game went to Nintendo for Super Mario Maker. So that's a pretty fair call, I think. Best fighting game, Mortal Kombat X. And there's really nothing...
Zero competition.
That really stood out for that there. Now come in a few of the shocks that I saw. The best multiplayer game of the year. Like last week we were talking about Rocket League for sure, and then there's always your Call of Duty and your Battlefields and all that kind of stuff. But Splatoon took it out this year.
Splatoon, yeah, man, that's fair. That is a really multiplayer game.
But I can't really comment because I've never played it. So yeah,
you'd think being a Nintendo game, though. Sorry, you'd think being a Nintendo game, it'd produce a real friendly environment. But it's a
good competitive game, though. There's so many different things that you can do in it, but it also keeps you on a bit of an even playing ground because you can get pretty much one version of everything, like weapon-wise, early in the game. It's just that you can sort of change the variations as you unlock and level up. But it's a brilliant game. I think it's fantastic. I'm glad I picked it up when I did.
It's actually pretty good as well because of the volume of people that play it. Their servers can actually run on 2 486s.
Yes.
Yeah. Best mobile / handheld game went to Lara Croft Go. So have any of you played that?
No, I played Hitman Go.
Yeah, I was going to say when I saw that got it, I thought that's pretty rich considering it's essentially the exact same style of game as Hitman Go, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I've not played either of them. I know what type of game they are, but it just makes me think, how come Hitman didn't get it, whereas, how did they pick one over the other?
Well, especially when you got so many prominent games. Like, I know there's a million games you can get on the Android, on the Play Store and on the iTunes Store. I would have picked something like Hearthstone for sheer volume. and stuff like that. But yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, Hearthstone, and then even go further into like the Civ Rev and all those kind of things that they've brought out this year as well.
Mm.
Esports Team of the Year went to Optic Gaming.
Good.
Esports Player of the Year went to Kenny S. Shrub for Counter-Strike Go Team Envy Us.
Good bloke, comes around for dinner on Sunday.
Yep. Esports Game of the Year, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So that's always been a big player in the esports arena. So that's that really didn't come as a shock. But then again, you're going up against the likes of like Dota 2 and StarCraft and all those kind of things. So yeah,
I think that was voted to be most likely game to be playing whilst being swatted.
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Yeah. No Man's Sky got most anticipated game.
That's going to be most anticipated game for the next 10 years. Nobody even knows when the stupid thing's coming out.
Yeah, there was actually talk a couple of weeks ago with Paris Games Week that there could have been a shock release of No Man's Sky where they just went, boom, here it is. But alas, no, that's not happening.
I think
it might be.
Will be a shock.
Yeah, it goes against
it's
the
just going to be
marketing
one of those
model.
games as well that because it is all procedurally generated, I think they're going to have a lot more trouble than what they really
But
think is
the
going to
problem
happen.
with that game is, like, I've seen that much coverage of it. I've gone through the motions. I've gone, I'm excited for this. I'm kind of keen for this. I've kind of had enough of this.
Yeah.
I've
Nearly seen enough in all the video, haven't you?
Yeah, I know what happens in it. You go to a planet. If it's the first time that you've ever been to that planet, you can name it. You see all these weird procedurally generated life.
Flora and fauna.
Yeah, flora and fauna. And you walk around and, I don't know, you could probably collect shit and then you fly off somewhere else. And if you 1 in 48,000 billion, million, gazillion, they're not even numbers, you might run into your mate that's playing it as well. It sounds great, but it sounds too good to be true. It just sounds like...
I think there's going to be some form of battle, or there's going to have to be some intergalactic fighting there somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, more along the lines of like Eve and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, best narrative went to Her Story. I've never really heard of that before.
I typed it into Google to find out what that was after it was on there, and it said, "Did you mean his story?"
I was about to say you lost me at her.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Well, I've got Trending Gamer, so this is like one of the big like YouTubers and all those kind of
Luke
things.
Wan.
I went to Greg Miller.
Oh, yeah.
So Greg Miller, who was former IGN and used to do Up and Down and all those kind of things, and yeah, I really enjoy watching his stuff. He's quite funny, so I think that's well deserved. Best indie game went to Rocket League. So there's a Rocket League there, and then best sports and racing game went to Rocket League. So yeah, games for impact went to Life is Strange. So that's that one that you play with the time.
Yeah, that must get
manipulation of that.
First episode, because the first episode was shit. Because that's all I played.
I have heard that it gets better.
Yeah, I have too, but...
You know me and episodic bloody things.
Some advice from me, if you're going to make an episodic game, make the first episode good. Because that's what most people are going to play first.
And don't release 6 episodes over 18 months.
Yeah, that's...
Because I kind of lost interest in the Game of Thrones ones.
Yeah, I haven't even finished them. I think I've played the first 2 and that's it. It's because it takes too long.
You would have had to have replayed them. You would have had to have replayed them, yeah?
I will. When I eventually do play them, I will replay them, yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, we've got our best fan creation was Portal Stories by Mel. Good on you, Mel.
Yeah. That I've heard. I haven't played it. I've heard that he's actually really good. It's like a mod or something.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember exactly. No, I don't know. But I think it was on a Good Game or something like that. I don't know. It was on some show and I saw it and it looked pretty cool. Anyway, keep going.
We have the Developer of the Year. Any guesses? Everyone knows who it was anyway, but it went to CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, of course, because of
for
the... It's because they said thank you in a little card that they printed off and gave to the people that bought the game.
Everyone, yeah.
Best art direction was for Moon Studios' Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Xbox One exclusive, so that looked really, really nice. I've watched a lot of video and all that kind of stuff on it. I haven't played it as yet, but it is in one of the things that I will purchase in the near future, I think. Best action adventure game went to Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Ooh, the best. Nice.
Best score and soundtrack also went to Metal Gear Solid. I'll run through a couple here. Best performance went to Viva Seifert from Her Story. Best shooter was Splatoon. So that's a pretty big thing there. Then we have the best role-playing game, and that had a heap of them, like Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Pillars of Eternity, Undertale, and that went to The Witcher 3. So, and then our big one was the Game of the Year, which also had the Fallout 4 and where is it? So yeah, Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, Super Mario Maker, and The Witcher Wild Hunt. And The Witcher Wild Hunt came with the Game of the Year. So I was quite taken back at this, just for the simple fact of that last year we got a bit of a shock with Dragon Age Inquisition getting Game of the Year. And it's a very similar tone and a very similar kind of game, and you know what, it was ramped up and everyone was pretty excited for The Witcher 3, but it's one of those games. It was just the sheer scope of it turned me off. And
That's yeah, I can appreciate that.
So there they are. It's all the winners from the 2015 The Game Awards.
That was pretty good though. Like, you can understand with The Witcher, with its quality, and I do believe it really deserved the best RPG, probably because people had a lot more time to spend with it, and the RPG aspect was very solid in The Witcher.
Sorry, you lost me for a second there. So Game of the Year was...
The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3, yeah. I think... it's probably got a lot to do with... I don't know, how do you reckon they work? Are they like a voting thing, or...?
Yeah, they actually have like fan choice ones, but these are done by like an independent, like a group of like specially asked teams.
Rigged.
Yeah.
Rigged.
Well, initially when you have a look back on it, it did come out in May 19, and as you hinted on there, Red, that people had a lot more time to go through it. You know, so a lot of the games that have come out towards the end of the year, these big blockbuster games, people haven't had enough time to really get into them, for the simple fact is that look at everything else. It's a bit sport for choice, but we had a little bit of a lull around May, and I think that, yeah, as you say, a lot of people had a lot of time to go through it.
The first 6 months was kind of dry, and now especially over the last 2 months, we've had a lot of games jammed down our throat. A lot.
And quality.
Yes.
I don't have enough hours in the day.
So what you're saying is when there's not many games to play, a shit game can get Game of the Year.
Well, I think it's more of a factor when you look at, say, you win the Fallout 4, where kind of you go through and you go, oh, you know, this is shit, and then you go, oh, you know what, I'll give it another bit, and it gets that depth behind it and a lot of time. But the people are big fans of this, and there has been kind of a lull of late with these types of games as well, like this big fantasy RPG and all that kind of stuff. Is like Skyrim was the massive one from last from last generation, and The Witcher did have a very big following with I knew it from PC and all that kind of stuff. So I think that, you know what, if I did enjoy it when I did play it, but it was nowhere near the excitement or the fun that I had whilst playing things like Skyrim.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I didn't like it. It's safe to
I
say,
didn't really.
I suppose I'm not spoiling anything. I'm pretty sure everybody that knows me well enough knows that game didn't make my top 10 games of the year. However, is that all we've got for
Yeah.
awards? All right, well, do you want to kick off with my top 10 bad games, or do you want remasters, remakes, re-releases, or special mentions?
Now let's get the shit out of the way.
All right, you want
Yeah.
top 10 bad games of 2015?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will start off in 10th position. So this is starting from 10 all the way down to 1, which is my number 1 bad game of the year. All right, in 10th position is Evolve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take my hat off to that. It deserves that. Probably deserves to be close to number 1, but yeah, we'll see.
Now, Evolve came out in February, I believe it was, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. The reason why that made my list is simply because it was one of those games that was a big claim for a lame game.
Very much so.
They went on and on about how fantastic this game was. It was at the 2014 EB Games Expo, I believe it was. They had all their setups talking about it, saying it was great. You've got this asynchronous battle where you've got one big, massive, overpowered monster and 4 humans that are running around trying to attack it, and it evolves and does this and that. It just felt like it's a clunky, big, boring, online-only game that has some sort of a weird storyline campaign that tags along with it. It was just... I don't think it ever really hit any marks that was ever promised, and it was a big letdown for me. So that
Not
made
to mention the E3 awards it took, eh?
Oh, it got awards left, right, and centre. Was it a different game before they released it, or did they pack coin, or what happens there?
Yeah. Well, it was obviously at places like E3 and the EB Expo. They probably just showcased their best map with their best class setups, and not to mention, if you want the full game today, you got to pay $180 as well. That really slowed them down when they bought out the $60 DLC packs for it.
No, that's
Also,
that's been
added in
on
was-
special quite a few times, hasn't it?
Hey?
It's been on special quite a few times, like half price and less than half price.
Yeah, on special, yes, but like when you got the first season pass and they released all this stuff, and then they released other things that wasn't covered in the season pass, and then they offered a second season pass for it. I just thought that was kind of ludicrous. All within there's 2 packs you can buy for it at the moment, and we're not even 12 months old. Season pass, I always thought covered like a 12-month period or an inclusion of 4 major DLCs.
Is there 2 season passes for 1 year?
Yep.
What season are we talking? Are they going with the actual seasons now, like a winter season pass and a summer season pass, autumn season pass, spring? Make as much money as they can, cheap bastards. All right, well, yeah. So that was number 10. Move on to number 9. Mad Max. September 2015. PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Mad Max makes my top 10 bad games and comes in at number 9. Now, I thought it was terrible. I hated it. From the get-go. And normally with a game like this, where it's a large, expansive, open world, I rave and cry and carry on about a game that I can't just go and do the next mission.
Yeah.
I have to level up because I need an ability or such and such. I want that to be done as a part of the campaign. I don't want to have to go and do side missions before I can move on. Now,
Lower the threat level.
Yeah, that's right. You had to lower the threat level before you could move on. Now, that I understand maybe later in the game, between halfway and towards the end, if you got to do some things like that. This was like early on. This was like the first couple of things you needed to do. It felt like a chore. I didn't know, like the controls were horrible.
Yeah, I'll second that.
The jump, it felt like
Jump up a ledge.
Yeah, gravity was like 2,000% for some reason. Like you can't jump up anywhere. That game looked like it should have had kind of like not Assassin's Creed per se, but maybe I don't know what's
Uncharted.
well, maybe Uncharted type kind of skills, like where you could jump and climb. I think that would have lended itself a little bit nicer to a control scheme. The cars were overhyped. I mean, it was just, I don't know. It all just fell apart for me. I really didn't enjoy playing it at all. So that's Mad Max for me. How did you enjoy it? You enjoyed it, didn't you, Red?
I played my first 20 hours in probably 2.5 sittings,
Yeah.
and I haven't played hour 21 yet.
Right. Okay. So you didn't finish it?
Oh, mate, I haven't finished the first area per se.
Yeah. Right. It's just red moding it and stuff.
I was red moding it, and as you said, it was just monotonous. It's still there. Look, the combat was cool. Initially, the driving was cool, but then it was just overused. There was no fast travel person. You could go from hot air balloon to hot air balloon, but they were really out in the middle of nowhere anyway, so it really served no purpose to quick travel, because by the time you loaded, you could have just driven there anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You say the combat was cool, but a lot of people referred to it to being like Batman's combat. I think it was Batman's sort of, I'll use the phrase.
Asylum.
It was his retarded little red-headed stepbrother. That's the type of relation there is to the Batman combat, because Batman's combat was perfect. The combat in this, I was always accidentally using my gun and wasting ammo, and it just, nothing was intuitive about the control scheme in this game. I think, wasn't jump
R1?
yeah, like one of the R shoulder buttons or something, and the circle or something was shoot.
Yeah, I swapped them around.
Yeah, wouldn't the triggers have been good for shooting and stuff like that? I don't know. I didn't like very much about it at all.
I should emphasise the combat. The animations were cool. The beatdowns were sick, if you know what I mean. I did enjoy. I did get a kick every now and again out of just.
It's okay. You don't have to, back yourself up there and make excuses for liking a shit game. That's fine. That's not. All right, let's move on to number 8. Okay, so after Mad Max on my list, number 8 gets Tower of Guns. Do you remember the game?
Yes.
In April on the PlayStation 4, it was a free PS Plus game. It's also on the Xbox One, PS3, and the PC. That game's shit.
Gay.
Not that I really expected much more from it, but not an amazing game by any measure. Did you guys actually play it at any length?
Yes. Oh, not at length, but I did play
Depends what's the yardstick. My sex life. Like, yeah, I played it heaps. I played for about 10 minutes, I think, because there was 2 of them that come out at the same time. There was Tower of Guns and another one. They were both just nah.
Yeah, I can't remember the other one that came out with it, but neither of them were terribly fantastic at all.
No, not at all.
I don't really have much that I want to complain about that game because it was so insignificant in my life, but I thought I'd have to have that as part of my top 10 bad games of 2015 because it was a bad game. All right, we'll move on to number 7. I won't dwell on that one too much. Ether 1.
Oh, that was the dementia one, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
The puzzle game.
You forgot.
Well, that was... oh, did you say dementia?
Yeah.
All right, I thought you said dimension. But yes, it was the dementia game where it was about dementia. It was very strange, and maybe that was what they were trying to get at, so maybe it probably is a lot better than I thought, but I played the game and I had no idea what I was doing. I was lost, I was confused. Maybe the game gave me dementia. If
You
not...
wanted after playing it.
Well, yeah, if it wasn't dementia, it was some form of mild brain damage because it was boring and confusing and not really enjoyable. So, unfortunately, that was my experience with that game. So, but that's probably one that I'd be happy to say that that's just my experience with it. Some people may love it, especially the developers and the publisher. I'm sure they think it's great. Any comments on that one from you guys?
I concur.
Okay, fair enough. Number 6 comes in here. This might be controversial because I know a lot of people love this game because before it was released, they're like, oh, it's coming out soon. I can't wait for this game to come out and I'm this and that and this and that. Well, it's came out and it's come out of the closet because it's gay.
Gay!
Need for Speed.
Yes.
Flop of the year.
No,
Oh, no.
on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, I think this was another big claim-laying game because it was absolutely terrible. Now, I didn't put a lot of time in it. Maybe it does get better, but it didn't really reel me in at all. The actual actors, like the video in it, was cheesy as all shit and just ruined it. Why do car games like this have to have fully integrated storylines these days?
Fast and Furious.
And why do they have to be all cheesy as all hell? Why can't it be just something simple? It doesn't have to be great, but don't go over the top.
Push the button, start racing.
Let the racing do the main part of the game, and then maybe chuck in a story on the side there where it may be for 30 seconds after a race, they might have a little bit of a cutscene, but none of this like 15-minute cutscenes that you can't skip and you want to race, but you can't. And here's a tip. If you lose a race, don't praise me like I won.
Yeah, you can lose and still get called the winner.
Yeah, I come second, and the guy's like, yeah, man, I told you he was the best. He's going to win everything and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, man. I lost the fucking race. It was 3 cars in the race and I came second. That's not winning. And you can't even claim second on the podium because there was only 3 of us. Anyway, so that's Need for Speed, which came out in 2015. No good, didn't like it. Right, next one with where I'm up to, number 5. Big claim. Everybody's gone to the Rapture.
Oh, thank God for that, because I've got that in my list. I was going to slide that in. Insert alarm clock sound here.
Yes. Now, I did look up what Rapture means, and in the world, like Rapture has its own meaning to us, but in the world of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Rapture actually means toilet.
It's a shit house. Everyone's gone to the shit house.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, including the fucking game. In the game, they're all self-aware and they're all pleading with you when you walk up there to them, and they're just ghosts. They're ghostly images. There's no actual characters in it. It's because they've all fucked off to the toilet to do a big shit on the game. No, it's boring.
Insert plot here.
I didn't realise it, but it's just another walking simulator. You don't do anything, and the story, like you said, Red, the story is fuck, work it out yourself, buddy.
Yeah,
There's just
there's been a few of those this year.
Yeah, and the pace was slow. I think the game was probably too big for its own good. If they maybe scaled it down a bit and didn't have to walk so far and so slowly and so boringly, maybe it might have been a bit more interesting, but overall it was a bit of a letdown. I couldn't keep playing it. I had to turn it off. I put a few hours into it hoping this is going to ramp up, because I actually enjoyed the other game those guys made, which was Dear Esther. I actually didn't mind Dear Esther, but I don't know, that's where I draw the line, I guess. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture was too slow, too confusing for me. Maybe I'm just not intelligent enough, but that's what I'll leave it at. All right, next one, number 4. So getting pretty close to the worst game I played of the year. Number 4. Now, it's not because it's a bad game. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. But it's a bad game because it's very painful to play. I couldn't enjoy it because it is that hard. It's a hardcore weirdos game. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Bloodborne.
No.
No. Something like Super Meat Boy or fucking... What's that other one? You go.
Velocibox.
Oh.
Now, you guys tried it, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What? You can't do one level.
Vomit Simulator.
The game moves so fast at level 1. So what Velocibox is, are you a box? Are you a little cube or something?
Yeah, you
Slides. It slides down a corridor, and there are obstacles everywhere, and you've got to turn the box to avoid or jump, I think, and there's all these different things you can do. But the first level is like the bikes, like the bike level on Battletoads. It's like straight in, difficult, straight into the hard stuff. There's no mucking around, slowly getting into it and getting used to it. You're straight in, boom. My lives are all gone within like 3 seconds every time I started that game. That's why I said, you know what, Jason, Reprimere, you can review that one. Fuck that!
You need to register on the autism spectrum to be any good at those games.
You know what, that's without being funny, you're probably...
I'm not being disrespectful, yeah, there's that certain concentration.
That's probably the type of person who has that kind of concentration and that kind of just determination. That's the type of person who'll probably smash that game out of the park. It came out in July on the PlayStation 4, but I believe it was on PC before that. Next one, number 3. So we're into the top 3 bad games of 2015. Roundabout.
I remember that game.
This game came out in February on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And you're in a limousine and you drive around a roundabout. And the top 2, the next game, that doesn't deserve much more of a conversation. Right, so coming in at number 2, which is pretty high on the list, it's getting there. This is not quite the worst, but it's bad. Real bad. And it was to the point where, even though I like to be respectful for the developers and all that sort of stuff, they make the games that we play. But I can't. I have to be honest to the people that are reading the reviews and the people that are listening to our podcast and, you know, that are taking our advice and possibly spending $100 on a game. I have to be honest. Now, the number 2, second most worst game that I played in 2015 came out in July 2015 on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3 is Godzilla.
Wicked.
Godzilla was a Power Rangers game from 1999, skinned in Godzilla clothing. And
full stop. That's an awesome one-line summation.
That's it. How do you explain that game? Red, did you try it?
Oh, because I tried to get into the multiplayer to help out, and then I had probably 3 goes of it, and it's like we talk about everybody's gone to the Rapture being slow. This was slow with the promise of being excellent, if you know what I mean. You're Godzilla, for fuck's sake. But no, it was so bad, clunky.
No.
No.
I looked at it and went, I don't think that's worth my download time.
Oh, mate, you're missing out.
Yeah.
It's got some good laughs because some of the enemies, they're just straight out of Power Rangers.
But you can remember the Power Rangers from the 90s, how it just looked like paper mache and whatnot. That's what they look like in that game as well.
Yeah, but the weirdest thing is, if it was a parody game, it'd be funny. But they're dead serious. The game is dead serious.
$110.
Yeah, it was the most expensive game on the store. Yeah, it was over 100, wasn't it? 105.
Yeah, it's 110 bucks. $109.95 for Godzilla.
That, go fuck yourself. No.
Ridiculous.
No Godzilla. You fucking shit. That is rubbish. Absolute garbage. Now, it's not the worst game because at least in Godzilla I could play through the levels and I knew what I was doing. I wasn't having fun doing it, but I knew what I was doing. Now, number one
Let me wonder.
of the top 10 games of 2015 has got to be one of the worst games that I have ever played in my entire life. I have played a lot of fucking shit. Now, because of what I do, there's a lot of games that come across my table. This one, I think, Red's losing his shit. This game would probably make top 10, if not number one spot on my worst games of all time.
The Witcher
Can
3.
Fallout 4. Can I interject and say, can I say that we've played a 9-cent game this year called Not Another Zombie Defense Game, and that didn't make this top 10 list.
No.
9 cents.
A 9-cent game was better than this. Yeah, absolutely. Now, it hurts me and it pains me to say this and to carry on like this because it's an Australian game. But the truth is the truth, and if you make a game that's bad, then I'm going to tell people it's bad. I gave them the benefit of the doubt when it came out, and I was fair in saying, you know, maybe there's going to be a patch that's going to insert the actual game to the game. The actual purpose, the actual bits that make a game, something to do, instead of just walking through walls, just nothing working. Anyway, look, I'm building this up. I'll tell you what it is. Red, I'm sure you understand what it is already. Sean, you might have half a clue as well. The game is, of course, Wanda. Came out in June for the PlayStation 4 and the PC. It was about $40, I believe it was.
Yeah, still.
Australian-made game. You could play. You started off playing as a tree.
This game's so boring, even the trees fucking walk.
The tree walked really slow. So I was really excited when I found out that I could transform into a girl. And I thought, oh wow, I'm moving a lot faster. But what I found out is I'm not moving faster. I'm just the size of the tree's foot. So I did move faster, but I didn't make ground faster because I was really tiny. And the animations, if I was to walk sideways in a strafing motion, the animation would be exactly the same as if I was walking forward. There was it was apparently an online game where you could meet other people playing it. The only thing is nobody was playing it. And there was no communication. The game had its own language. But you couldn't select that language from a drop-down list or anything like that. You had to draw the fucking language on the touchpad of the DualShock 4 controller. So you would walk up to these stone tablets that had things in it and you would learn the language. So not only did the game present itself really slow and boring, it wanted you to learn a new fucking language to communicate with other people in the world. And what sort of words did it give you to say? Fuck all, hello, and shit like that. But you had to draw it on the pad, drawing it with your finger, and then tapping on different spots. So not only was it almost impossible to get it right, it never worked when you did get it right. It was just garbage. You could walk into buildings, there was nothing in them. Absolutely nothing inside them. There was like a real cool looking building that was in the distance. I walked up to it, found that there was no door. But you know what? You didn't need one. You could walk straight through it. And, yeah. And then when you were inside, you were marvelled with nothing.
I found out in that game what was actually underneath the lake. And that's nothing as well.
Nothing.
I fell through the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
I was swimming at 1 second, and then I fell through the bottom of the lake, and I was just walking around underneath the rock.
And there was a promise that you could fly griffins and things like that. I have no idea. I don't know how to. You could skydive and stuff like that.
The skydiving came involved with a special option that they had in the menu for if you were stuck. So if you were stuck in the game, there was an actual option on the start menu, which you pushed and it would drop you back into the game.
Yeah,
That, mind you, was the only option that it had.
yeah.
You clicked on the options and it's like, I am stuck. Okay.
And that's what punted you out of the sky, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's my number one terrible game for the year, and will probably be for many years to come. I challenge any developer out there to make a worse game.
DLC coming this summer, aimlessly. Wander aimlessly.
Oh, Jesus. They come out with a season pass. I'll pass on that game for the entire season.
Fuck yeah.
So there you go. That's my top 10 bad games of 2015. Do you guys have anything in mind that you think should make a list like that?
No, that
Yes.
was awesome.
I covered them all.
I have one that should make the list.
What do you got?
It came out in September on Steam, and it's called Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015.
Did you play that?
I did play it. I
No, I
thought,
think-
you know what, it's 99 cents, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And it looks like it should have been made by NAMBLA, like the North American Man Boy Love Association. Because-
For the Atari 2600.
Yeah, because you're just this little kid across the bottom, and there's all these different dads with their junk hanging out in a shower.
Pixel
And
pixels?
you just
Yeah.
had to go up to the right dad, and your dad was either there was a Ranger dad, one with black hair and a mustache, or there was a black guy. And yeah.
Did the
So
black
there's-
take a few more pixels?
Steve, but what, 8
But
bits,
even
so the doodles were just one square.
It even sounds bad with the kids. So there's like Thomas and Magnum. Richard there's the black guy, Richard and Lefty. So Dick and Lefty there. And Johnny and Robin. So yeah.
Yes, okay, fair enough.
And you get
Well,
your
played it. You're a
game modes, Enduro Dad or Dadathlon. It's just why it was ever made, or I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how they got past the screening process, ratings and stuff like that. Anyway, all right. Do we want to go through remasters, remakes, and re-releases?
Yeah.
All right. Now I won't rant on too much with these ones because these aren't actual bad games. These are the ones that I particularly liked. In position number 10, I've got I Am Bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game, I think. Hang on 1 second. I can't count. In position number 9, I gave to Cube.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Yep.
Yeah, so that was another remake, or re-release, I should say. That came out on the PS4 and Xbox One. PS3. It's also Android as well, apparently. So that I enjoyed that game. I think I 100%ed that on the PS4. Good game. Next one is Oddworld, New and Tasty, as for a master. It's a good remaster. It's still just as brutally hard as it was back in the 90s when I played it. So I've
Pretty.
finished it. But yeah, they did a good job on redoing it. And I like how they snuck it in there. The original was a screen-by-screen side-scroller. So when you got to the right edge of the screen, it would refresh and give you a new screen. Whereas now they made it scroll.
Yeah.
But it didn't detract away from the game, so it worked quite well. I appreciated that one. Next one, Zombie Army Trilogy. That came out in March on the...
Very good fucking remake.
Yeah, that went really well. It didn't really have any problems transferring over to the console, and because those were those zombie versions there. If you're not in the know, they're the zombified versions of the Sniper Elite series, and the zombie versions previously were not on console; they were PC exclusive. So they've come across in March this year to the PS4, Xbox One, and they also released the trilogy on PC as well. So that was a good remaster that we all had a really good time playing.
Zero network issues.
Yeah, that's right. We connected and didn't have any troubles connecting, and we never lagged and we never dropped out. So that was pretty good. Good experience all around. Top game. Next one is another zombie game, and it's called Zombie.
Yeah, Zombie U thingy.
Previously Zombie U, it dropped the U and just became Zombie and was released in August this year for the PS4 and the Xbox One. I still think that that's probably one of the best console zombie experience games, survival games that I've ever played. Now I played that originally on the Wii U, and it blew me away. I love this. Was before the PS4 was released, so the graphics were kind of on par, slightly better than like Xbox 360 because they were 1080, but still not, obviously PS4, Xbox One quality. But it's a really good experience, and as I've said before, graphics are fantastic and all, but a good game, graphics do not make. That's a weird way of saying things, but that's how it goes, I guess. But so I really enjoyed that. Next one. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Now it's in, I think that's number 5 I'm up to now. That was a really surprising game. I didn't expect to enjoy that as much as I did. Now, at first, it's one of those games as well that won't hold your hand, so I did get a little bit lost. But as soon as I worked out the first puzzle, it's like you've learnt, so you know what to look for, and the rest of the game just flows. Did both of you play that?
Yes, I did.
No.
Did you even try the tutorial?
No.
Well, there was none.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the start screen.
What's that? No tutorial? I'm not that game.
Oh, fuck you guys.
That's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle of the genre, because we talked about Rapture, and this is no faster pace moving than Rapture, but there's more happening.
Yep.
In the shorter distance. You got more to interact with and more to do instead of just walking down a fucking road, man. Because the thing that really got me about this was it was the very first of the genre that I've ever played, and you could just walk off into a track into the forest and nothing stopped you until you actually literally hit a cliff. There wasn't any visible walls or anything like that, and I thought it was fantastic, and it was a good story.
But yeah, you're right to draw those likenesses, because the Vanishing of Ethan Carter is still very similar to Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, but they've just done so much better with the story and the way it's told. And it felt like there were gameplay aspects, which is why I enjoyed it a lot more. Makes my number 5 remake game. Or, sorry, that'd be just a re-release, that one.
Yep.
Number 4, Red, you'll be happy with this one. Number 4 of my top 10 remaster, remake, re-release is a remaster, DMC, the definitive.
That was such a good game.
Yeah, that came out in March on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and we had a good experience playing that. It's a single-player game, but Red, you and I played it simultaneously, if you will, on our own consoles, having a chat while we're playing it. And that typically is not a game that I would usually play, but that game has opened my eyes, and I'm really looking forward to a new Devil May Cry game, because I liked it. I thought it was good. It
I'm
played
looking
well.
forward to a new one.
It hands itself to the new consoles too, because that game in 1080 and 60, there's that much going on. You don't want an old console chugging, because it's fast.
Yeah, and it did. And
Yeah.
it really did. That was notorious with it, but we forgave it. It's like that whole Bethesda thing. We forgive Bethesda for glitches, bugs, and crashes. We forgave DMC for frame rate drops and stuff like that because it was so intense. But as you said, it lent itself to the 1080 and the 60. No frame rate drops, perfect, pristine colours, because that was always a vibrant game. There was a couple of games like that, like Ninja Gaiden, Sigma, and all that. They were real vibrant and really did use the PS3 very well. But yeah, awesome, and it deserves to be that high on the list too.
Yeah. Just one tip to anybody playing that game, though. You can level up and get...
You can spend your red orbs.
you can spend shit. I didn't realise you could do that, so I played the entire game besides the last 2 missions without purchasing any health or upgrades or anything like that. So...
Fuck knows how you did.
Strangely enough, it was very hard. Well, I mean, I played it on the normal setting, I think.
Yeah,
I wasn't playing it on your super duper crazy hardness or anything like that, but I managed to get through with a bit of frustration, realising at the end that it could have been a little bit easier had I purchased things. But
and
anyway,
more fun.
yeah. But anyway, I still enjoyed the game. It didn't sour it at all for me. All right, number 3 goes into the top 3 of the remasters, remakes, and re-releases. Comes in at number 3 with Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. Came out in March for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now that game wins a top spot because I had not played Borderlands to any real degree before that. I'd tried it, but I never really got into it. Played Borderlands 2 on that one and played it to excess. Red and I, we actually got the Platinum trophies, didn't we? I'll never forget that Platinum. Fuck you, Jimmy Jenkins.
Jimmy Jenkins.
And it also brought us that great... Well, I think it gave birth to the segment we don't actually have anymore. What was it called then? I can't remember now. But when we talked about the Michael Mummerall little Easter egg or whatever you want to call it, where Michael was a massive fan of the Borderlands game and he passed away. And his friend sent a letter into, I think it was 2K or Gearbox or something like that, and they actually put him in the game as a tribute, and also had a eulogy recorded by Claptrap, and it was very touching. So I had a real good experience with that. I didn't put as much time into, because it was obviously the 2 games, I believe. It was Borderlands 2 and what's the other one? Yeah, the pre-sequel. I've played a little bit of the pre-sequel, but not finished it or anything like that. It's safe to say Borderlands 2 is the better game, but
It doesn't stand up to Borderlands 2 at all.
yeah, it was too good. But the Handsome Collection, even if it was just Borderlands 2 on its own, the remastered part of that is brilliant. It is another game that is similar to DMC, whereas I'm sure that would have chugged the shit out of an old school console. So it played really well on the PlayStation 4 is what I played that on. So that was top 3 of the remastered games. Next one, number 2 position spot for remastered remakes and re-releases is Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. What do you reckon?
Gonna knock that off.
Ooh, what's going to knock it off? Of course. Now, this was out in October, only recently, on PlayStation 4 only. It's an exclusive game. Now, it's got all 3 games remastered, so you've got, let's see if I can remember them, Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, and Drake's Deception. Woohoo! So all 3 of them, all remastered for the new console. What are you laughing at?
Woohoo!
Well, I'm just happy because if I'd forgotten one, it's a bit of sacrilege because of how much I go on about they're the best games ever. So remastered really well, looked good, and was a good experience playing through them again. So that makes my number 2 spot. Now it did get knocked out of number 1. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain to you why. But the number 1 spot for remakes, remasters and re-releases came out in August for the Xbox One only. And that number 1 spot, deservedly in my opinion, goes to the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. That game will probably never drop off any list of mine in the next 10 years or so. It's been out for 10 years already, and the game just does not feel like it has aged a day. You play that, and if somebody told you, if you were none the wiser, that it was a 2015 released game, I'm sure a lot of people would believe you because it looks beautiful. The cutscenes have all been re-motion captured for the most of it, and the gameplay and the lighting and the everything has just been made that much more appealing. Even though it looked fantastic back in the day, it was a brilliant remaster, and it goes a long way as well, handing out all 4 of the previous games, I should say, for nothing, for buying it. Xbox is doing the right thing there. We're doing that backwards compatibility thing. Tops. Real good. So that was my number 1.
Yeah, deserved it.
Any additions to that list that you guys have thought of? Remasters, remakes, and re-releases?
Because you can run through the bad ones like your Deadpool. You had the definitive edition of Darksiders, which probably didn't deserve a mention.
No.
No, that's a good 10. That is.
All right. Now, we'll go into, this is my last list before the top 10 games of 2015, and then we'll get whatever lists you guys have got as well. But the top 10 special mentions. Now, these are the games that were on my top 10 games, but got knocked off as I went through lists and found other games that I thought deserved the spot better. They got removed from the top 10 games and put into a list of their own, which is your top 10 special mentions. All right, so in number 10 spot, we've got Hand of Fate. Funny.
That got bumped off my top 10 about half an hour ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. That's a
It's
sick
a
game.
fantastic game. It's a card game that's mixed with an action game, and I think that's the best of two worlds there. I thought it was a fantastic game, but it unfortunately got knocked off my top 10 list. Next one in number 9 spot, Tropico 5. A brilliant, what would you call it? Like a
Civilization simulator.
yeah, and whatever you want to call it. It's a brilliant one of that. I've not played a game like that for many years, and they usually get played on PC, being a mouse and sort of keyboard sort of thing. Playing it on console was a decent experience. I thought it was quite good, and having multiplayer as well, where you can verse each other. That's a really good idea. You know, you got the different objectives that you have to get, so you might need to do first person to 5 objectives complete when you're on different sides of the map and stuff like that, which is pretty neat. So that's cool. Number 8 position is Victor Vran, or Victor Vran, however you want to say it. Special mention there. Because it's a pretty good Diablo-style game, and it holds itself well. Real good, strong game, that one. So if you're looking for a Diablo clone that isn't just a bodgy copy, Victor Vran is a good game to play on PC. Next one, number 7, is Mortal Kombat X. If I had top 10 fighting games of the year, it probably would have been number 1.
And 8.
That was on one of my lists as well, cut off.
Yeah, so that a great game, but something that I talked about before it's released. Mortal Kombat games like that, fighting games, they sort of have a shelf life for me because it's the same thing over and over, really.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you've got it there and it'll sit there until you got a couple of mates around, you having a beer or something, and you're like, oh, let's play some Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Controllers out and that. And then that's fun. But, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, the number 6 position of the special mentions for me is Submerged. That came out in August. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Did you guys play that?
Yeah, finished
No.
it. Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's a game that Sean played that Red didn't. I thought it was really... You know what it felt like? It felt like this is the game that Wanda should have been.
Yes,
That's what turned me off.
100%.
Because it was kind of Wanderish, but actually worked and was fun to play. Like, it was it's no game of the year, but I had to give it a special mention because I enjoyed playing it. It's not going to take you 10 days straight to play it or anything like that. It's quite short, but it had a simple story. I kind of wish the story had a little bit more punch toward the end, but it had a story there. It kept me going because I wanted to know what happened, and it was a neat little indie game. It's not a big AAA title or anything like that, but I think for what it achieved, I think it's quite a neat game. I didn't mind it. All right, number 5 position for top 10 special mentions is Tearaway Unfolded. Now, if I had a list that was best use of all of the gimmicky features on a console, this would be number 1. Now, what I mean by that is Tearaway uses the 6-axis of the controller, it uses the touchpad, it uses the controller speaker, it uses everything. it really uses all of the different controls. So there are even parts of the level where you've got to tilt the controller around to tilt the in-game controller to move things around, because there's a section in the game that it's kind of strange to explain, but you're playing it inside your controller.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Like a
Yeah, it's
marble
like in the tech demo they had with the robots.
Yeah, like that. So it's actually being taken place inside your controller. So when you're using the controller to play it, you've got to move the controller around. Like you said, Red, the marble games where you got to tilt and move the marble through the maze. It's kind of like that. And breaking the fourth wall, where there are parts in the game where you could turn around and throw a rock out of your television set, and then it goes into your controller, and then you've got to shoot it back into the TV screen to attack the enemies and stuff like that. Brilliant game. It's quite a long game. I didn't expect it to be quite large, but it goes for a while. There's a lot of content there. And none of the typically gimmicky things felt like that. They didn't feel like they were in the game for the sake of it being in there. They felt useful, they felt intuitive, and they felt like they were part of the game. I've not
served
played,
the purpose.
yeah, I've not played any game that's used all of these features to such a degree and made them work. So Tearaway Unfolded, it's a world made of completely of paper. It's family friendly, so kids can play it and adults can also appreciate it as well for what it is. So that makes my top 10 list there for special mentions. So moving on is, what am I up to? Number 4 is Whispering Willows. And now, so Whispering Willows came out in June, PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, Vita and PC, so just about everything. Now, I liked Whispering Willows, not for its gameplay, but for its dark story.
It's narrative, yeah, I was about to say that's what saved it.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, it reminded me of Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Yeah, because
dead.
there's a lot of characters in there that are dead and have like knives sticking out of them, but they talk to you like it's normal. You know, like it was like all cool, like, hey, you know, this and that. But, oh, you've kind of been murdered, dude. Like, and another game that kept me going and made me want to find out what happened in the end. And you get there. It's another game it's a small studio indie game that I think achieved, you know, what it probably tried out to do, and was an impressive game for me. I liked that one, so it's quite cool. All right, number 3 spot for special mentions comes in with Magicka 2.
Yes.
Not the vampire, he's the vampire.
And it got that spot for its trailer alone.
Well, that was one of its strongest parts.
Well, that's why I was interested in the first place. Never played the original Magicka, but that trailer sold the game to me. And it's a great game. May 2015 for the PS4 and the PC. Wonderful. Mixing up...
And now also free on the PS Plus last month as well.
Yes, it was. But the way that you're on the fly, it actually felt like you were casting spells because you had to hit a recipe every time you wanted to use stuff. And if you forget what they are, you can just mash different things and you'll eventually come up with something cool and devastating. How good was...
We always cross the beams and make the bomb.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Crossing whatever beam that you can have.
Death beam and life beam created a combustion.
Yeah, that's it. A big bang, too. If you could time it right, geez, it was devastating. So Magicka 2 got that. Top game. A real good game. Moving on, in second position for the special mentions, Macarena.
Yes. Very good. Yes.
Free-to-play game was Air Mech Arena. You guys love that, right?
Yeah, the only thing that ever stopped it from being everything it could be was the network issues.
Did you have issues, did you?
Couldn't get a multiplayer game.
For a while, yeah.
I know we could play together. I'm not sure if...
We could play together, yes, but we could never find like a 2v2 or a 3v3 sort of thing.
Yeah, it probably wasn't too popular, but for what it was, I really enjoyed that game. It was good for playing mates.
And you used to get the shit
Fucking
because it used to
sick.
play like a tank rushes.
Yeah, until
Like
I
a-
learned
like a-
what you
Yeah.
you only do one way.
If it
Fucking-
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the only game that I would, if we were all playing that, I'd team up with Sean. I want Sean's team.
Oh fuck! I got his number now.
We'll have
Nice.
to get back in and have another couple of games of that. That was
Let's.
awesome.
Let's.
All right, so number one spot for special mentions. Now, this isn't my game of the year. Don't get confused. This is only special mentions. It is Numa, Breath of Life.
Yeah. Good call. That's your bunch of fine.
Yeah, I like that game. Obviously, I put it on my list there, but it was great puzzling that you didn't need a guide for. Well, I didn't anyway, because I'm super smart. But it was really rewarding because the puzzles weren't stupidly easy, but they weren't stupidly hard either.
Yeah.
As long as you weren't tired and frustrated, you could probably work it out. And if you got stuck, leave it, come back tomorrow, and you'll probably get it first go. Another game that I think I 100%ed because I just enjoyed playing it. It was great. So yeah, that's my number one spot for top. What do you call it? I've lost. Special mentions.
I'm going to add a special mention in as well.
Go ahead.
And mine's for Torrent.
Oh yes, yeah. That's
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
like the Tree of Life game. And,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's was one of those things where I looked at and it got frustrating because it had little glitches and stuff that would stop you from moving or jumping over a certain area that you needed to jump over and all that kind of stuff. It had very dated graphics and that, but in the end it just pulled me in wanting to get in there and finish it, and I actually ended up 100%ing it. So once I finished it, I went back and did a couple of little extra things, and yeah.
nice. Yes, that was a very good game. Very deserving of a mention on this special Game of the Year episode of the Aussie Gamers Express podcast. You got anything to add to that, Red? Anything that you think should be mentioned?
There's things I probably think might deserve to be on that list, but I'll wait until we go through our top 10s because they might feature there.
Okay. No, fair call. All right. Now, did either of you guys had lists that you wanted to go through at all? Whoever does?
I just had a couple of little ones, or just things that I'm really anticipating for next year with the big year that we've got coming out. So
Go ahead. Go through those.
anticipated
Top 10.
indies, I'll just run through quickly. So they've got Unravel coming out next year. That was featured in
Oh,
E3
that looks
this year.
sick.
And that looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that looks top. You know what that reminds me of, that game? Cool Spot.
Oh, yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
the water and... You haven't played Cool Spot?
Nah.
I've just picked up a Super Nintendo from good old Andrew Roy. Thank you very much. You're a champion. I'm going to find a copy of Cool Spot for the Super Nintendo.
That's
Up
a
to play.
Sprite game, wasn't it, or something? What out by Sprite?
7 Up. 7 Up.
7-Up, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, good game, Red. Dude, watch some video of it. It's just a platformer.
Yeah.
It was just so neat for back in the day. But anyway. Go ahead.
Next one's Cuphead.
Ah, yes.
So that's coming
Played that
out
at the expo.
next year as well. Yeah, it looks like just the old school cartoons, like the the first real original cartoons, like the
60s Mickey Mouse
yeah,
and
Yeah,
Felix
so that
the Cat.
yes, yeah, very much so, with a very slapstick kind of thing with just the outrageous body movements and all that kind of stuff. Really took me back to looking at the old school cartoons. So I'm really excited to really get into that. That looks really, really cool.
The punchline is how fucking hard it is.
Yeah, I played at the expo. It was really difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah. And the next one that they showcased at E3 this year from the makers of Limbo, so it's called Inside. So that'll be coming out next year. It'll be an exclusive to Xbox One, or timed exclusive. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it looks phenomenal. Like, I was a big fan of Limbo and the way it worked, and this one seems to have a bit more of well, not really a story, if you will, but it seems to have a very dark environment.
Thing.
So yeah. So yeah, that's my anticipated indies for next year. I've only got 3 of them, but I'm really looking forward to them.
Yeah, good stuff.
And then I just got my anticipated AAA titles next year. I'll just run through them quite quickly will stop on them. If you want, that's just Uncharted 4. That's just going to be
Yeah, that's different.
amazing. It's
I think,
yeah, Doom. Can't wait for this big, just massive run and gun action of it. So
Is it any
Yeah.
good? You played the alpha?
yeah. Yeah.
That's shit!
it's alpha.
It's alpha, yeah.
What's wrong with it? You're just so up Bethesda's ass. You don't want to say anything bad about it. What's wrong with it?
No, it just doesn't look good. It has a strong Unreal Tournament feel to it, but then it's just too closed in to be Unreal Tournament style, and the weapons are so different. Like everything's got a secondary fire, and it's almost like mathematical. You got to hit three hit markers with the L2 and then a hit marker with the R2 to get a kill, sort of thing. And yeah, I'm sure there's one map. It was one map, one game mode. So I'm going to reserve the right to have a complete opinion on it until I play the release.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Put it this way, it didn't sell to me as well as the Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta.
Hmm.
If I ever had any doubts about Uncharted 4, which no one on the PlayStation clearly does, the multiplayer beta should have sold it for you.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
Next, Tom Clancy's The Division. Played that at Expo.
Oh, I've got the alpha
Almost in my
downloading at
pants.
the moment.
Yeah.
Sean, it's probably downloading for you at the moment too.
Ooh.
I got a boner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't wait for the Division, man.
Gears of War 4.
But the Division might be shit too. I played at the Expo, and I wasn't convinced.
It's because you went on a kill streak like me.
Don't worry, you'll get the
Like
shits
a-
with it soon enough, Red, when I continually kill you and go rogue.
Oh, you want to be my friend, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Red does all the killing, picks up the good shit. Boom.
Shoot Red.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean.
Gears of War 4.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Wait, just Gears 4. I've seen it called two different names, so I don't know what the proper title is.
no, I'm not sure.
'Cause I
Far
think-
Cry.
I've seen
Oh,
it
sorry.
as Gears 4, and I've seen it as Gears of War 4. It's a stupid thing to discuss. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Far Cry Primal.
Oh, yeah, that'll be tops. That'll be early next year too, I think.
Yeah, it looks.
I don't know.
So
What do you mean you don't?
The first Far Cry game without guns, really.
Oh, it probably won't have guns, eh? It won't have vehicles. It'll have
I've seen some video of it, probably about I think it was the first 15 minutes gameplay a couple of days ago, and you got your spear.
Yes.
You know what it really looked like? What was that place that you went to, that Dreamtime place in 4? Was it Shangri-La?
Oh,
Remember when you went to Shangri-La and you could control, like, the tiger?
yeah.
That's what Primal looks like, because you can control a saber-toothed tiger as your companion. You've got a spear, and you've got a bow and arrow, and that's basically what you had in Shangri-La. I'd say it's just an expansion on the whole Shangri-La mechanics that they had going.
Yeah,
why
well,
not? If they've got the groundwork down.
essentially it's the next version of Blood Dragon.
Yeah, it's not going to be a full-fledged title, I don't think.
No, it'll be a full, I think it'll feel like a full game. It's just not going to be the next. It's definitely not Far Cry 5.
Yeah, you're not overthrowing a regime, i.e. 3-4. Yeah.
Yep. And what else, Sean? Was that it?
Homefront.
Homefront. Is that?
Oh, really?
Is that?
Revolution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Homefront Revolution.
Oh, that'll be delayed.
Again.
Then we've got Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm not really anticipating that, but a lot of people are.
Mm.
Next we've got Deus Ex.
Oh yeah, new one.
Yeah,
That's delayed.
later
one.
again.
Yeah. Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
The new Dishonored will be coming out
Yeah.
Oh no.
next year as well. So,
So-
and last, if they could pick someone up to do it, I'm not sure if they have it or not. Dead Island 2.
Oh
I'm
yes.
still holding my breath, waiting to
Oh,
see if any
check
news on
in.
that. Yeah, Techland.
They're not opposed to doing it.
You need to do it. They said that one of the like the CEO or whatever he said that we do live in a world that has enough room for Dying Light and whatever the other game. Dead Island. Could happen. It might be happening. We just don't know about it yet.
Modern Warfare 4.
Yeah.
Already calling it.
You won't see a Ghost 2. Trust me.
Ghosts wasn't bad. Maybe there is a Ghost 2. I want Ghost 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed Ghosts.
Me too. Because I want to find out what happens at the end.
I want to know if they've actually got guns make sound in space this time.
Pew 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 pew. Of course they do. All right, what else?
That's it for me. Yeah.
That's it.
It's
All right. So are we ready to?
anticipated.
Sorry, did I cut you off? What'd you say?
I said that's probably highlighted the most anticipated
Yep.
that we know of.
Reminded me of a few games that I'd forgotten about. That's real cool. All right, so are we ready for our top 10 games of 2015?
Yes.
All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. All right, so who wants to give their number 10 game first?
I'll go.
Go, Sean.
June 23, Rocksteady Studios, Batman Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Right. Number 10.
Yes.
It's been a bit higher for you.
No. I think that's
He's got an Xbox.
a nice place for it to be.
Oh,
So,
there are a couple of Lego games this year. So.
yeah. And surprisingly, none of which made my list.
Oh, wow.
Nor a special mention for
No.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Oh, needs one. Yeah.
All right. Well, Batman Arkham Knight, number 10 for Sean. That's not a bad choice. What's yours, Red?
Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3 at number 10. Oh,
Purely and simply for the enjoyment in the co-op campaign.
all right.
May have slid a little higher if I enjoyed zombies a little bit more because I was really excited for zombies. But that's so fucking hard, man.
Well,
And the server issues for the first couple of weeks probably didn't help it either.
yeah, that was bad. Spoiler alert, Black Ops 3 didn't make any of my lists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not on my top 10, and I didn't get any special mentions,
It
unfortunately.
wouldn't have been top
Yeah.
10 if Red's top 10 games without COD on there. Come on, that's why I got 10th.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, my number 10 game is Splatoon on the Wii U.
Oh, gnarly.
So I preferred Splatoon as a shooter than Black Ops. Well,
So did the world.
yeah, well, Splatoon's a good game, man. It had to make my list because it was fantastic, and I get to play that with my little girl too. So that's good little daddy-daughter time. So that's my number 10. All right, well, if we're going in that order, Sean, what's your number 9, buddy?
Forza Motorsport 6.
Forza 6 loves a racing game.
Yeah, September 15, Turn 10 Studios.
It's one of the better. Well, no, I'll claim that. That's the best racing game that I've played. I like it better than the GT games.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, I am jumping ship over to the Forza games over the GT games, and yeah,
Oh, we're yet to play a current gen.
yeah,
Gran
current
Turismo,
gen.
though.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I've always claimed it. Ever since like GT4, I think was my favourite one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
After that, the Forza games I thought were a lot better.
The one thing that I do like about the GT games, though, is the full licensing systems and the
Event style.
being able to
setup.
tune your cars and the event style things in it. But the Forza 6 is starting to get a bit more like that, but then again, still staying completely different to what GT is. And I just want to say a big screw you to Turn 10 Studios for putting in those damn tyre walls in the cutting.
So you can't cheat.
Are they not there in real life?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to Bathurst. Anyway, that was just for you. I think if you look really close on one of the tyres, it actually says sucked in, Sean.
Yeah.
You know what you should do, though? You know what you should do? Use the brakes and go around it on the fucking... All right. Red, what's your number 9?
If I whisper it, it doesn't make it so. The Taken King.
Ah! That's DLC.
Oh, kind of. It's Destiny 2. It was a full rehash of every working system in Destiny. So,
All right, we'll give you that.
I paid a full retail for it. Fucking.
Yeah.
But yeah. What we played it for probably 6 weeks, maybe 8, with Gizmo and the crew. We got a new crew together and NAF and everything like that, and I felt competitive this time round. I felt like I was doing something right, and I got some good drops and everything like that. So it deserves to be there. And also for the next 2 weeks, they got Sparrow racing on Destiny.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know, it'd just be like a pod race thing.
Do they actually have like beep?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And you get gear from it and shit like that. So it's a PvP.
Ah, might have to chuck it in and have a go.
Yeah, I know, me too. I only read about it this morning. But it's only going to be there for 2 weeks, and is it the 8th today? So it'll probably be late tonight, 10 o'clock tonight. We'll get a bit of a Destiny update. So, but yeah, Taken King, we enjoyed it, man. In all honesty, we had a lot of fun.
I've got to say about that. Why make it a limited time?
Oh, I don't know. There was an article there explaining why it was limited time, but
Dickheads. Anyway, all right. My number 9 is a Lego game, Lego Jurassic World. Came out in June on everything, and I thought that was a fantastic, nostalgic experience. I loved it, even if it was, even if it wasn't a Lego game. Just the nostalgia of that music. Just that.
Oh God.
Yeah, when we go to that level where it looks like yeah, I love that. I love Jurassic Park, and that game hit all the right notes with the references, the music, and everything. So that's my number 9 game, Jurassic World Lego. Wonderful. All right, Sean, what's your number 8?
Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Yay!
Yay! So just the sheer enjoyment that I'm getting out of being able to play with all you guys. I think the multiplayer was it seemed to be dumbed down a little bit this year. I like the fact that it's only a short burst jetpack and stuff you need. There's no exoing or anything like that, so you really need to get into the firefights and all that kind of stuff again. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. So.
Nice one. Red, what's your number 8, man?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
It got pushed down the list, I must say, but it still deserved its spot on there, sheerly just for making me feel like I was a good gamer, just beating some bosses and getting through some areas, just how brutal it could be. It actually, really solidified my personal opinion of myself, and I'm like, yes, you could really taste the success.
Yeah, it was one of those games that I had to stick with and get some coaching from you guys as well, because it's another one that doesn't lend any sort of real way on how to play it.
Absolutely not.
Once I play, like when I pick up Dark Souls 3 next year, I think I'll go into that a little bit better and probably
a little bit more prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a bit more prepared because I'd never played one of those styles of games, like the Dark Souls games or anything like that. So I had no idea what to expect. And I agree. It is a very good game. Nice. All right, my number 8, Batman Arkham Knight comes in at number 8 for me.
Nice.
So that was a very happy experience being Batman. All right, Sean, what's your number 7, buddy?
My number 7 is from February 20, Ready at Dawn Studios, The Order 1886.
Oh yeah, that's that game.
The Order, yeah. That's, I thought you
I
were
really enjoyed it.
different.
I haven't played it yet.
Short and sweet.
Oh, I loved it too. I thought it was fantastic. I can't believe you haven't played it, Red.
It's sitting on my list. I've got it here. Look, I'm at the moment now going through the games that I haven't played, like all in their entirety. So the Uncharted's, and after that will be The Last of Us. I'll just go to Naughty Dog. But then I've got the order to play and shit like that. So I'm doing it now before next year.
Arguably, you should be playing The Last of Us before the Nathan Drake collection.
Arguably, yes. But I'm having a lot of fun.
God, I hate you, Red. Just... It's like you're avoiding playing it just to shit me.
Maybe. How do you like steak cook?
All right. All right. That was who are we up to? I'm lost.
Red. For my number seven
Yes.
is the Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3. Oh,
Yes.
The Witcher 3.
See, that'll be finished as well. But I sincerely played enough of it at the time to not feel cheated, ripped off, or anything like that. But I played probably about 110, 115 hours, and I got a good feel for the RPG aspect of what they were trying to portray in the 5 different... After what?
After 110 hours, you got sick of it because it's a shit game.
No, I think I got something else. And as I normally do, the next game, the next game I play is my game of the year that I've got to play until I'm sick of it. But just because I got sick of, well, not sick of it, it's just it was doing the same thing for 2 weeks.
Because it's...
Gwent overdose.
Gwent overdose, exactly. I spent more time playing Gwent than you did the campaign, I reckon.
And it's boring.
Oh, fuck off. Gwent's awesome.
It's a shit game. Your list is now null and void. My number 7 is Rocket League.
Yeah?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Rocket League is awesome, man. As much as I love to hate it at times because I get frustrated with how hard it is to be good, it's still, I can't say how awesome I think that game is, and I will bring it up again. I preached and I preached and I preached when I played the beta. Red, download the beta. Play the beta. It's amazing. Nobody listened to me and nobody tried it. When it finally came out, you're like, oh yeah, this game's good.
I downloaded it, but I just didn't play it.
Yeah, good effort. Fucking tards. I think it was you that told me that the beta was available to get through this website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doing Aussie Gamers duties.
Yep. All right, number 6, Sean.
My number 6. Well, I got this off Red last week when I was down there, and it's pretty much all I played this week.
It's mine too.
And Assassin's Creed Syndicate from October 23, Ubisoft Quebec, Ubisoft Montreal, and Ubisoft Shanghai, the developers on it. And after the massive letdown that was whatever that one was last year, and it's just awesome. Really good setting for an Assassin's Creed game is the late 1800s with London. It was a dirty, grimy kind of city, a lot of gangs and a lot of, say, scallywag activities happening, and great setting for it. And I think that the addition of having the female lead in Evie and Jacob being as twins, it's phenomenal. I'm really, really enjoying it, being able to switch between the two, and the leveling up system in it and all that kind of stuff. It is
Parallel
really,
leveling up. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of really given me that the taste back for Assassin's Creed. It's really impressed me that they've been able to do such good thing. And Evie kicks ass.
Yeah, she's hardcore, eh?
Oh, geez, just the fighting mechanic in it and all that kind of stuff. They've really kicked it up a notch, and it's really, really cool. Really enjoying it.
Well, I do agree it is a good version of Assassin's Creed. It's probably the best they've had in a few years now, but...
Agreed. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, for me, is essentially retired. Unless they change something drastically in the series, I can't see myself enjoying them anymore. They're the same every year. It just varies the amount of problems they have. I played Syndicate, and it was just dry and boring for me. It's not a dry and boring game, but for me, I'm done with the series. It's just exactly the same thing every year in a different setting. And the stories are always so convoluted and weird, and I just don't understand them too.
Yeah. Do you think that it's like, are you interested at all in a lot of the periods that they're actually set in, or
Nah,
like history-wise and that?
nah.
No? Well, see, that's
That's
another
probably
thing that I really like about it is like the factual stuff behind it as well. Like I was a big fan of history in school and all that kind of stuff, and this stuff really interests me. The time period in that, and so it's got those your usual rubbish story that they kind of put all together with the Templars and the Assassins and all that kind of stuff. But then again, you get to meet, like, first up you meet like Charles Dickens, and in Unity, Madame Tussauds was in it, and all these
William
different kind of
Bell.
things. Yeah, and it's just that's really
The
fascinating.
teachers back in school were happy to push you in history because they knew you had no future. Oh!
Zing.
And here I am sitting next to you, just chatting away about video games.
Exactly. Where are you now? Still talking to that douchebag Luke from high school?
Yeah.
AC Syndicate.
Oh, that's right. You said it was the same. All right, cool. This is number 6 we're doing, isn't it?
Yep.
Correct.
The Order 1886 was mine for number 6.
Ah, nice.
There you go. Like you said, Sean, short and sweet. Good game. I loved it. Beautiful graphics.
Yeah.
Beautiful graphics. Lovely. All right, number 5, Sean. Halfway through.
Number 5, Rory McIlroy PGA Tour.
Ooh, diddly dee. Sing the
Yes.
Put the money
July
forward.
14 it came out. I put massive amount of hours into it, and if you'd like to know, that trophy did pop. I finished my
Oh, did-
second season.
Oh,
and
yay.
got my gold trophies.
Good for you. Fucking
Oh.
shit when that happens and they don't pop.
Yeah, and it was good though because I had to play through the second season because there was a couple of, like, you get certain trophies for getting the actual tournaments, like the big majors and all that. So yeah, I missed a couple on the first one, so I just went back through and played it again. But yeah, really enjoying it. You know, it's glitchy. It's got friggin' animals that just appear out of nowhere and all these kind of things. But it was what I wanted. I wanted a golf game for current generation, and it's delivered that.
You got it. Shit one. Got it. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm enjoying it though. So
We get everybody's golf next year.
everybody's golf. No,
Just Sean's golf.
it would have to have the most politically correct character creator in the game that I've ever seen.
I don't know what to get
Golf.
there.
No, I'm just saying that when you know how you do like you pick up you create your character.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's got you click on it and every button is like you start off and you might be white and then you're white with black facial features and then you're black with Asian eyes and then
Also
you're
has-
like an Indian with Asian eyes and
They
just
have-
the randomization that it does up for you.
There where you get
Yeah.
I haven't left any option out. You can be anything.
You could be anything.
Gotcha. All right, Red.
Number 5. Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh, Arkham
Ah.
Knight slipped down a little bit lower for you. That's good.
Yeah, because I'd not played a Batman game since Asylum. And, yeah, wicked, awesome, brilliant. Fuck the Riddler trophies, but other than that,
Really
fucking-
felt like Batman.
hey?
Really felt like the Batman.
Oh, it did, didn't it? And a lot of people have bitched and moaned over time about the overuse or excessive use of the Batmobile. I just thought it was an extension of my character. I fucking loved it. You know, you didn't have to use it. You could get from one place to another without it. And it got utilised in a sufficient amount of side questy missions. And yeah,
Used it mainly to launch the shit out of me.
yeah, exactly, and that's it. It was a good launching pad, and just the how it integrated the supervillains with the side quests and everything. And I really love that game.
Good choice, man. Good spot for number 5 there. All right, my one in number 5 was actually Bloodborne. That made my top 10 games, man.
Yeah, I thought it would. You persevered. The games that you tend to persevere with, you tend to get satisfaction and enjoyment out of. I've learned that about you.
Except for The Witcher 3.
Well, you didn't have to persevere with that. You basically smashed through it. You only persevered with it because you wanted to say you'd finished it.
Which is, so I persevered with it.
Oh, yeah, fair call.
You didn't persevere with that, you just persevered with it. Good argument, Red. Well done. Well done.
Valid.
Yes, Bloodborne. Yeah, brilliant game. I really enjoyed it. I don't feel the need to go back and platinum it. I don't feel like
Oh, fuck that.
my heart is in a fit condition to do that. But it has opened a door for me that I'm really looking forward to Dark Souls 3. I'm not going to play Dark Souls 2. I don't think I need to do that. I would like to play Dark Souls 3 though.
Well, the only thing you're going to have a short learning curve in Dark Souls is you got to learn to use a shield, which you've probably seen from that guy that was playing it at EB.
Yeah, it's like that. I like that. It's timing there. It slows the game down a bit too.
It does. That's exactly right. It slows the battle down. It's a little bit more precise, but
Yeah.
you won't struggle with that.
Yeah, I'll get used to it, but I think I will like it.
But the punishing aspect is the same.
Yeah,
You know, you bite off more than you can chew. You got yourself to blame, sort of thing.
yeah. No, I'll get into that. All right, Sean.
I'll just wait for For Honor instead. Play that with my shield and axe.
I fucking can't wait for that game.
Getting close to our top 3, but number 4, give us yours, Sean.
Number 4 is a number 5, Halo 5, October 27, 343 Industries.
Ooh, Halo made your top 10 games, right? Hey?
Yeah, really enjoyed the campaign run through of that. Looked beautiful, great gameplay, and just overall the anticipation waiting for a new Halo game. I think it delivered. So really looking forward to see what they're going to do with Halo 6. But yeah, had good fun.
Don't hold your breath. It's gonna be a while.
And Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Did a good job.
Roger,
Look,
we're straight
all
in
those
my
things-
basket.
All those things that you said about it are true. I agree, but yeah, it didn't make my list though. Red, what's your number 4?
Until Dawn.
Hill?
Zing.
You
Yes,
loved it.
my
That was your game of the year, man.
well, it was when I finished it.
It was when you just played it.
Well, I tell you what, we've gone over Alien Isolation and that sort of horror game, and then you got your Five Nights at Freddy with all the sort of jump scares and everything on that. But I really do enjoy a good horror movie or a sequence of horror movies like the Saw movies and everything like that. This delivered on a level where I could handle it. I did squeal, I screamed, I jumped, I fucking felt myself getting closer to a doorway and not wanting to go through it, but the actual fact that I physically had to do it with the control, and I was immediately responsible for anything either in the quick time or whatever happened after that, it sucked me in, man. What a game. And it was well enough written and acted out by the actors that done it, obviously. Yeah, go figure. But yeah, that makes the list for sure. I really did enjoy it, and it did leave me with such a euphoric feeling that it was my game of the year at the time.
Lovely. Yeah, great game. I agree with that.
Yeah, fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and the creepy guy looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Menu.
The shrink.
The menu, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you. Creep.
Now you know how people feel when you look at them.
Touche, man, touche.
Hello, darling. Kiss, eh? Hey. Lovely looking shoes you got there. My number 4 was Resident Evil Revelations 2, an episodic game. February, PS4, PS3, Vita, Xbox One, 360, PC. It's coming to the Vita too. Brilliant game. The best Resident Evil game that I've played to date. I haven't played 4 in case you're wondering. I will get to number 4, and if it's better I'll let you know. But to date I haven't played 4. Resident Evil Revelations 2 was fantastic. I absolutely loved playing that game. I loved the episodic feel to it because they came out weekly. They weren't a bazillion years apart. And yeah, it was just a wonderful game experience. Loved it. Story was good too. I like how it jumped forward and back and stuff with Barry trying to find his daughter.
the most enjoyment I had with that was watching your streams.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And that co-op bloody survival thing. Sorry, that was a lot of fun the other day.
yeah, raid mode. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I look forward to doing a lot more streaming once I can get a better stream quality going, because it really doesn't do the games justice when you're watching them in like 360p, because the internet sucks. So once the NBN or super fast internet gets installed where I live, there'll be heaps more streaming of HD stuff, which would be cool. But yeah, that was my my number 4. So Sean, what's your number 3? We're in the top 3.
Yes, my number 3 is Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh shit.
Really?
It is everything that
special
I
mention.
wanted in a Star Wars game. It looks awesome. It plays well. No, never had any issues with online playing with you guys, the hero hunt and all that kind of stuff. I was kind of let down when I first played the beta of it, but since getting it, I'm loving every second of it.
There's enough content, yeah.
Yeah.
It really does appeal to the Star Wars nerd, doesn't it?
Yes. Very much so.
The biggest thing for me that made me wet my pants with that game is the pew 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 pew, all the
The
like,
sounds, the noise.
The ambience.
Yeah.
so good. But didn't make any of my list though.
No campaign.
Needs a campaign.
Yeah.
All right, Red, number 3, top 3 for you.
Dying Light.
Ooh,
Dying. Yeah, we spent a lot of time. It was one of those dry periods again, to the point where I actually digitally bought it and got stung, had to wait and wouldn't work, and this wasn't happening and that wasn't happening. But yeah, platinumed that one. Played the shit out of it. It was co-op. We played a lot of co-op together. And you might understand what I meant then. The side stories of Dying Light, like the side quests, actually had the depth of story that some of the ones with Fallout have. You know, you wanted to do Ghazis and everything like this, and you wanted to save these people or help these people out and do the fetch quests and everything, because it felt like it ultimately had an impact on the surroundings.
When you did those side missions, they weren't just, I've lost a family member, go find them for me, and you go get them and bring them back. Bring, there's some XP for you. It wasn't like that. It was, I've lost a family member whom you may have had something to do with during the course of the main campaign, and now you know what the outcome was. You know, it closed up a little bit of the loose ends throughout the story. That's the kind of side mission that I really love doing, where you'll play it and you'll get to the end of the side mission and it'll unlock a piece of the story and it'll make you go, oh, is that what happened then? That's cool, because you'd forgotten about it, because it was just a side little, insignificant part of the story, and that side mission brought it to the forefront and showed you what happened.
And the side quest in like an initial first few, and this is including the Ghazi one, which we had a good chuckle and laugh at. It almost served as a tutorial for advanced techniques, like the climbing up and getting across and actually getting into his house. It taught you how to think outside the square and use lateral movement. Going and getting the first aid supplies initially when you first went to that major building, like your home base. It taught you that going to pharmacies and everything like that, and opening up certain bloody containers, that you'd get all these medicines that you'll use later on. Getting the chocolate for Ghazi, you realise chocolate was a rare commodity and you could get a good trade price from the store, sort of thing. So, very well-rounded first-person game. Yeah, absolutely. That was a real good game for me. I loved it. So that's cool. Good job. All right, my number 3, my top 3 games of 2015 is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Wow.
And at number 3 for me, that was a really good experience. It sort of opened, that game was probably the beginning of me playing side missions. I used to have this whole, you have no power here sort of concept to, non-playable characters coming up and saying, no, I've got a side mission for you. I'd stick my finger up and keep running towards the main mission marker. But that in Metal Gear Solid 5, it really lent itself to going and doing those off-campaign missions to further progress yourself with gear and things like that. But it didn't feel like a chore. It was still enjoyable to do that. And I loved the mission thing, how you would you're playing all the missions in the same area, but just you've got to do different things running around the massive open world. And I like that, how you flew in and stuff like that. So, and you could tick off as many as you wanted while you were on the ground. You didn't have to leave, come back and load it. Or
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, that was a winner right from that intro song when you're in the hospital there. The Man Who Saved the World. That was a real good intro, and it just didn't fall down from there. Loved it. Absolutely brilliant.
The man who sold the world.
Sold the world, not saved it. Thanks, Sean.
Oh, yeah, that was that song.
Sorry, Sean, just write that down.
Yeah, I've finally got one. It's taken me 107 episodes, but I finally corrected Live
107, roughly an hour and 45 minutes there, give or take, just in case you want to refer to that in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's not happen very often.
Yes.
Sean, you're number 2, buddy.
My number 2 is Until Dawn.
Wow!
Yeah.
Loved it.
You
I'm very, very fond of those types of games where I can sit down and it's a bit of like a lot of narrative there, and I can just kind of play through at my own pace. But I did it in 2 sittings. So
Yeah, you finished it before any of us did.
yeah.
Mm.
And I was sitting there going, "Come on, somebody finish it so I can talk to you about it."
Yeah, good game. Didn't make any of my lists, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. I loved it. It was a great game. It was just, for me, 2015 had better games. There you go. Nice choice. Good stuff. Red, is that yours as well?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about maybe. That was
Oh,
4 for me.
Cool. Paying attention. Write that one down, Sean. 146. You'll have 2. So,
Nah, my number 2 is Metal Gear Solid. Phantom Pain.
yeah, right.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. And as opposed to all the other Metal Gear games, the start that get the, as you touched on yourself, the open world, that lent itself more to what I prefer, the genre of game I prefer to play. So a la Red mode, or just spending time on the ground doing things at your own pace, risk and reward to get those people fultoned out to upgrade your base. The meta game being the upgrading of mother base, that was cool. I got right into that also. So a lot of aspects I enjoyed, except for the rendering of the graphics in multiplayer. I felt I probably would have spent a lot more time in the multiplayer if it wasn't fucked.
I forgot it existed to tell you the truth there. I completely forgot that had multiplayer until you just mentioned it. And that's how shit it was. It's very forgettable, the multiplayer. Shame.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there you go. What are we up to, Red? Sean, your number 2 game, man.
I just did my number 2 game.
It's your number 2
1
game.
hour 50 minutes, so we got to paying attention again.
Fuck it, I'm editing it out. It's looking way too dumb now. Spastic. Yes. My number 2 game is Dying Light.
Oh, get fucked.
January 2015. PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. And when that game came out, this is the game I was talking about at the start of the show, where I got poo-pooed for saying that this is a Game of the Year contender for 2015 because it was January. Understandable. I think Nick was the one that goes, it's too early for that sort of shit. But it held its position quite well. It's only sunk down to number 2. And it's what's that?
It's because he's also not played it, noob.
Well, Nick hasn't played Dying Light.
No.
At all?
No.
All right, I'll sack him.
Sack
That's my number 2 game of the year. That's a brilliant game. I put a lot of time. The only thing that probably helped with the decision to drop it down a bit is fucking trophy. That should be a platinum.
Yeah, I still feel for you on that too, because we played it through almost 3 times.
Yeah, but that's not the game. That's not the gameplay. I mean, that is part of the experience, but that's not the actual game. The game was perfect for me. I loved it.
Yep.
You could play it multiplayer, like, co-op. You could play it, on your own, progressing through with awesome weapons. And, even the glitches in that game were fucking fantastic. How big were the guns when you looked at your co-op.
Yeah, it felt like a PC game, didn't it?
Like a big old massive machine gun in your hand, and it's supposed to be a pistol.
What we should say too, it was probably one of the first games I've played on this generation where it had 99.9% of the time it was flawless drop-in, drop-out multiplayer, and it wasn't redundant. Me coming doing side quests with you wasn't redundant for me because it was still tick off for me, and even though I left, it was still ticked off in my my progression sort of thing. It was flawless with the drop-in, drop-out.
Yeah, you could do campaign stuff together as well.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's my number 2 game of the year. That's a fantastic game.
I got scared and wouldn't go outside when it was dark.
Scared of those Molotovs.
Yeah.
That's about the thing that killed you the most in that game, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right, you had the no, never mind. Go on to let's get the number 1s out of the way, shall we, Sean?
My number 1 is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, well,
Now, I'm going to put this out here now, like flawless 1080p 60 frames per second
wasn't it?
all the time.
Yep.
Absolutely phenomenal, beautiful. As I said, like the upgrading of the system, the missions, you wanted to do the side missions. You had to do, like, you'd kidnap or you'd rescue a translator, and then all of a sudden all the people around you started speaking in English because you had your translator, and everything kind of felt like it had a meaning to it. Just absolutely brilliant game. Now, you're probably going to slap me for saying this, but you know what? I haven't finished it. I haven't even left Afghanistan yet, and I think that I have got a full amount of money's worth out of this game.
Oh yeah.
I would be happy probably saying, I said to Red the other day, you know what? If they tagged on Africa as DLC, you know, I probably would have bought it. But I haven't got up to that yet. But I am just still loving every second I was going to play it.
Some game designers would have.
Yeah.
Yes. EA.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
EA, for sure. They would have definitely made that an add-on. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably what Konami wanted to do. He got into a fight with Hideo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you release it full or you no release it. I delete it all.
Oh, good. You have it my way or the highway. Ha!
So they gave me
We
the fucking
release it,
highway,
but
didn't
we
they?
sack you.
I do the curry.
There was a court order in place where Hideo wasn't allowed to attend the bloody Game Awards.
Oh no, that was so douchey.
And they got Keeper Sutherland to bloody accept the award.
What was he going to do?
Quiet.
No speaker English. Thank you very much. Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, if you've actually been onto the Game Awards website, they've got the list of like advisors and their jury. So you've got the jury with all the people that actually vote on it, the Esports Advisory Board, and then you've got your advisory board, which has Hideo Kojima on it.
Oh really?
Yes.
He's the one that wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
And via correspondence only. All right. There you go. Red.
No, you say it, because I'm going to get more joy out of you fucking saying it than me saying it.
Saying what?
You're number 1.
Then we're going out of order.
Oh, that's okay, because we're going to stay in order, I bet you.
Why do you think it's the same game?
Yeah, it's got to be.
To break it up, I'll tell you what my number 1 game is.
No lying.
Huh?
No lying to make me look like a
Super
dick.
Mario Maker.
Maker.
Yeah, Sean, that's it. No, it's not. All right. Drum roll. I've got sound effects for that. You think?
Yeah, I know, but I'm excited.
Game of the year for me, Lucas Aurelius, Luke 1. Number 1 game of the year for 2015. Fallout 4.
Yeah, man. Me too.
This is the part that we had the little snippet in from 2 weeks ago. You fucking shit. I was considering actually having it in my hand, considering on whether or not I snapped the disc or not.
All right, well, we'll pop that little part in from the show a couple of weeks ago right now. Fallout 4. Over the enjoyment that everybody else gets from this game. I can't. I tried again today. I tried it last night. I damn near broke my DualShock controller last night. What I said to you guys, I said, it's remarkable how durable these controllers are.
I heard you spit it. You were building up to a rage session there, and then all of a sudden your voice gets a bit pitchy, and then it's like a... and you nearly squeal it, and I'm like, can't fuck. Yeah.
Oh my god, that game is... Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of my rage here. So it's people say crazy things when they're angry, so take that into mind. It's a fucking game!
It only shows the quality of the game, though.
Well, there you go. So that was my opinion quite a few weeks ago. But who would have known that such a game would turn me around from being a dead set hater to this game is my game of the year. And I don't take that lightly. I am serious. And as much as I knew the amount of flack that I'll get for having this as my game of the year after how I trash talked it, I don't care. The game is brilliant.
I'm not hanging shit on you.
I can't, as much as I can say bad things about it, but all that stuff, I never understood it. Reddit used to do my fucking head in.
I know.
Why do you forgive this game for being broken, like previous games you're talking about, Fallout 3? Why is it okay because it's Bethesda? Why is this? Why is that? Why do you look forward to this game so much? Why?
And every question's been answered now, hasn't it?
Yeah, now I know.
In one title, yeah.
I absolutely love it. I had a hard time getting into it because it's not user-friendly for noobs to the series. But like my experience with Bloodborne, but only better, I just haven't been able to stop playing. There's every single time, when I get a little bit bored, I go somewhere else because there's going to be somewhere I've never been before. And
You get the offer of sex, and you've got to say, no, sorry, that's 1500 XP.
Oh, sex in real life, you mean?
Yeah, you get offered sex in real life, you go, no, I could so take on a My Alert Queen and get more XP than that's worth.
Yeah. Look, I've put in over 5 days worth of gameplay now, and I'm still playing the game. And it's a given. When the DLC comes out for it, I will buy it. I will buy the season pass worth of it, and it's fantastic. I love finding new weapons, finding bits and pieces, junk, building the settlements, using the upgrades, fighting enemies, doing up my power armor. The one thing that I've never really bothered with is just normal armor. Do you use that?
Yeah, I do, flat out.
All the normal armor, the best armor I've found isn't even armor. It's like a suit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've put mine together, I've put so much work into what I'm wearing at the moment, it's not funny. Even where, you know how you can press L1, I think it is, to tag the search?
Yes.
You just go off on expeditions for 3 or 4 hours just trying to find the right amount of leather or this or that for this piece of armour and for this gun, you know, nuclear material. You've got to go find the glowing the glowing rad roaches and whatnot, just to find the nuclear waste.
Yeah, or the what do you call it? The super mutants that carry the mini nukes.
The mini nukes, yeah, they've always got nuclear material on them. Yep.
Yeah. Look, a brilliant game. It absolutely trumped everything else that I played. Not saying that it's a better game than the other games that are on my list, but I've had the best experience with it out of all of them.
It's got that draw factor.
It also has a little bit of extra pulling power with the fact that it's a very unexpected game of the year for me.
Oh, it goes against the grain of everything I know about you. Something was so side quest heavy. It requires so many hours.
I didn't care when it got announced. I didn't care when it led up to release. I didn't care when it came out. I bought the game because it was cheap. It was $59 with $1 postage. I didn't care when it arrived. I didn't play it for a week because I was playing Black Ops. I didn't care. I didn't care when I played it for 3 hours. Who knew that this was going to become my game of the year? I reckon the odds would have been 150, 200 to 1 for that being my year.
And all I can think of now is I'm picturing the head of Bethesda standing in the corner, rubbing his hands together like Emperor Palpatine, going, "Yes, yes,
Come to the dark
we've got
side."
him, we've got him." Mm.
Yep, and it didn't have multiplayer, which is the one thing I said that would make me love it. But it didn't have that. Don't care.
Didn't need it.
Didn't need it. No. Absolutely. And I've done everything. I've done all of the missions. I've done pretty much all of the story-based side missions. I've done everything. I'm just working on grindy trophies now, which I'll probably end up putting it down real soon to then resume the trophy hunt when the DLC comes out for it. And when some mods come out. What'd you say?
A little bit more purpose with DLC.
Yeah.
You're getting the levels by naturally progressing.
Yeah, rather than just sort of grinding. But that's my number one game of the year.
Now you can almost understand why I squealed when we were doing the E3 show.
Yes. I still won't do that when Fallout 5 is announced.
I don't reckon there'll be a Fallout 5.
They can earn it all over again. What do you mean there won't be a Fallout 5?
I don't know, this might be the last one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever.
There's only so many times you can blow up the world and have a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland. I reckon we'll see another Skyrim in 3 or 4 years, and then it'll be a new IP.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, another Elder.
McDonald's has been around for a long time. Only so many fucking different burger combinations those dickheads can come out with, but people still eat the shit. All right, well that's it. That's all of our games. Well, sounded like you had a comment, Sean.
No, I was just going to say, well, just they wash, rinse, and repeat. But as you said before, your Assassin's Creed,
Mario,
Call of Duty, FIFA every year. Every year they got the remakes of your FIFA, Madden, all that kind of stuff. People still buy them.
Well, they can't stop making Fallout now. They've just gotten into it.
And if history's anything to go by, DLC is going to be quality.
Should. All right, well, that's the game. That's the show. That's it, done. Episode 107, Game of the Year for 2015. We've got one more episode coming next week, and after that, that's us for 2015 done and dusted. We'll see you in the new year after that one. So how about Sean? You give us a bit of a close, and we'll...
Oh, yes, I need to do that as well, don't I? Well, now that we're at the end of our big, massive Game of the Year show, please take the time to like us on Facebook if you haven't already, www.facebook.com/AussieGamers2012, or just search Aussie Gamers Express up in the little search bar there. This podcast is pinned at the top of that page, so if you've got any thoughts or feelings on what your Game of the Year should have been, or your crap Game of the Year, or anything we discussed on the show, leave a little comment in there, and we usually get back to you. Twitter at AussieGamers12 is where you'll find all of our tweets and all that kind of stuff on there. YouTube, Aussie Gamers Express is where you can find all of our videos on there. Aussie Gamers TV at twitch.tv is our Twitch channel. A lot more streaming will be coming live to use very shortly once upgrades and nets and all that kind of stuff continue to happen. Then if you want to get this podcast downloaded directly to the device of your choice, search Aussie Gamers Express on iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio mobile apps, and you'll be able to find this podcast on there. Don't forget to like us and rate us. That's a big thing. Rate us, help us get back up there trending again. Then if you want to send a snail mail, PO Box 130, Cranebrook, New South Wales 2749 is where you can send that.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, well, that's it for this week. As I said, we'll talk to you next week for our normal show and the last show of the year. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I've been Luke 1.
I've been Thorncliffe.
I've been Red.
How do you like your steaks?
Red.
Red.
That fucking Peter Griffin doing Chewbacca.